All right, we've been talking all about cyber attacks, warfare, and we'll probably touch a little bit more on this. But in a commercial space, in the design space, in the research space, for countries who are really having a pole position when it comes to research, when it comes to having Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies or institutions which are right there at the top, what is it all about? It is all about intellectual property. And these countries, these entities are really something that some of the other countries, some of the other entities really desire for, in a good way, in a bad way as well. Good way, they are trying to pick up their research. But bad way is they want to close the gap as soon as possible. And how do you close that gap? You most likely close the gap by either stealing or by carrying out some espionage or by, showing the other entity or showing the other country or down so that you gain out of it, right? So the war on intellectual property will really take place on the wire. In 2022, more countries, especially those who do not have a plethora of natural resources, who are not economically sound or their economic machinery is really not working well, or they are politically isolated at the global stage because of their beliefs, because of their way of life, because of their thinking, or because how they want to modulate what is really happening out there in the world, and because of them wanting to be center stage of everything. These will be these organizations who are associated to these countries, the institutions who are being driven by these state-sponsored machineries, they will all choose to steal intellectual property to achieve their economic, their social, and geopolitical agenda and goals. Let me invite Thomas to add a little bit more color to what I've just mentioned.
Thank you, Sarah. You are absolutely correct. So, and to follow up on the previous prediction as well, the nation state, they are not only arming up with cyber weapons, they are already engaging in straight out cyber warfare through their intelligence agencies against each other. And as you mentioned, the Western countries and their allies, they are dominating most of the world through business and politic influence. And the countries which don't want to play the ball with these rules are often being heavily sanctioned for it, like Iran and nowadays China as well, or North Korea for many years too. So this cuts these countries from global trade and access to all the cutting edge technologies, especially in semiconductors or highly efficient COVID-19 vaccines. And consequently, this is forcing their hands into cyberspace and theft of these technologies and intellectual properties and whatnot. So for the motivation of these actors, we can like the most shining example is Chinese CCP party. What they want the most is maintaining power and stay in control. And in order to do that, they sought and successfully delivered to its people the economic miracle in exchange for their liberties and privileges. But if this economic hypergrowth stops and the bubble pops, all the sacrifice people of China made will be for nothing. There will be other unrest, and this could boil over, which is probably the worst nightmare scenario for CCP itself. So this means that the most powerful nation in the world, or one of the most powerful nations in the world, is very highly motivated by existential threat to itself to go around and steal intellectual properties, conduct mass industrial espionage, and shamelessly copy years and billions of dollars worth of research and development in order to boost their own economy and to keep themselves in power. So to summarize it, IP and R&D theft are not going anywhere until we achieve world peace, which we unfortunately do not see happening anytime soon, and things are going to get worse before they get better through 2022 and beyond. Back to you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Thomas.